In Asia, power is often defined by size, wealth, and military strength. China commands global headlines with its vast economy and influence. Japan earns respect through innovation and discipline. South Korea captures the world through technology, culture, and creativity. But beyond the glare of these well-known giants, there lies another force. Quieter, humbler, yet rising with a strength few have truly seen. This nation doesn't dominate the news. It doesn't shout for recognition or display power through intimidation. It simply grows, steadily, quietly, and with purpose. Every year, it becomes more connected to the world, through trade, technology, culture, and the resilience of its people. Every year, it proves that greatness isn't always loud. Sometimes, it's the calm that follows every storm. And while the world focuses on the powerful and the proud, something remarkable is unfolding in the background. A story of endurance. A story of unity. A story of a nation ready to take its place among Asia's most influential powers. This is the next Asian superpower no one's talking about. The Philippines. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe, like, and turn on the notification bell. Because today, we're uncovering a story the world keeps overlooking. A story of quiet strength, of pride, and of a people who refuse to be underestimated. 1. The power hidden in geography. The Philippines is more than just 7,000 islands. It's a gateway, a strategic crossroad that connects east and west, north and south. Look at a map. The country sits right between the Pacific Ocean and the South China Sea, at the heart of Asia's most important trade routes. Every major sea lane that fuels the global economy passes near or through Philippine waters. That means whoever keeps these waters stable controls a lifeline worth trillions. For centuries, empires understood this. Spain came for control. Japan came for dominance. The US came for influence. But after every foreign flag was lowered, the Philippines remained. This endurance, surviving and rebuilding through history's storms, is the first sign of a nation far stronger than the world assumes. 2. The strength of the Filipino spirit. True power doesn't come from wealth or weapons. It comes from spirit. The will to stand tall when the world expects you to fall. In 1521, a native leader named Lapu-Lapu faced European colonizers and refused to bow. That act of defiance became the first spark of Asian resistance against empire. Centuries later, the same spirit rose again. The 1896 Philippine Revolution wasn't just a rebellion. It was a declaration that freedom was worth everything. And when World War II came, Filipino fighters once again proved that courage doesn't depend on resources, it depends on resolve. Side by side with allies, they defended their land, their families, and their dignity. That same resilience still lives today, not in battlefields, but in classrooms, in offices, in hospitals, in every Filipino who never stops fighting for a better life. The world calls that humility. But make no mistake, that's strength disguised as kindness. 3. The quiet economic force. Many see poverty. Few see the people powering the world's economies. Over 10 million Filipinos live and work abroad, in ships, hospitals, tech companies, and construction sites across the planet. They are the nurses who save lives, the engineers who build cities, the seafarers who keep global trade moving. Their earnings don't just sustain their families, they fuel the national economy, sending billions home every year. And back home, something even bigger is happening. The Philippines has become a BPO superpower, business process outsourcing. It's the human engine behind global corporations, customer support, finance, IT, marketing, all powered by Filipino skill and communication. When you call customer service in the US or Europe, there's a good chance the voice helping you belongs to someone in Manila, Cebu, or Davao. Quietly, the Philippines has become an essential part of global business, not by force but by excellence. That's not a small economy, that's a hidden one. 4. The strategic underdog. The Philippines doesn't have nuclear weapons or massive armies, but what it does have is something the world often forgets: experience. Decades of real-world military operations, counterinsurgency, and humanitarian missions have forged one of Asia's most adaptable armed forces. Philippine soldiers know how to survive, improvise, and win in some of the toughest terrains on Earth, from dense jungles to vast archipelagos. And in today's rapidly changing Indo-Pacific, the Philippines holds a position every superpower watches closely. It has renewed defense partnerships with the United States, Japan, Australia, and regional allies, ensuring not only its security, but peace in one of the world's most contested regions. The Philippines might not seek conflict, but its alliances make it a cornerstone of stability, because sometimes the most underestimated defender becomes the most important one. 5. Culture as power. Not all power is built on politics or weapons. Some power spreads through song, kindness, and connection. Filipino culture has traveled the world, not through conquest, but through people. From the joy of karaoke to the rhythm of Filipino dance. From street food shared with laughter to music that touches millions online. When people think of warmth, hospitality, and creativity, they often think of the Filipino spirit. Smiling through challenges, giving even when little remains, finding joy in the smallest things. And that emotion, that energy, is a form of influence the world can't ignore. You can't measure it in GDP. You can't display it in a military parade. But you can feel it in every Filipino community across the globe. That's soft power. And it's one of the reasons the Philippines is quietly shaping the world's heart. 6. The future. That's just beginning. The Philippines isn't just surviving, it's transforming. For decades, the world has looked at it through the lens of its past. But beneath that old story lies something new. A nation quietly preparing for its next chapter. Hidden within its soil are treasures the modern world depends on. Nickel, copper, gold, and natural gas. The very elements that power electric vehicles, smartphones, and renewable energy systems. As the global economy shifts towards sustainability, the demand for these resources grows each year. And there, right in the heart of Southeast Asia, the Philippines holds some of the richest deposits waiting to fuel the green revolution. But its greatest power isn't underground. It's alive, walking, and dreaming. It's the people. With over 115 million citizens and an average age of just 25, the Philippines stands out in a region where many countries are aging rapidly. While others face shrinking workforces and rising dependency, the Philippines has energy. Young, skilled, and ambitious energy. Everywhere you look, a new generation is emerging. Coders building apps in Manila, designers freelancing for global brands, creators shaping digital culture, and entrepreneurs launching startups that reach beyond the islands. They are connected, bold, and unafraid to compete with the world. Education, technology, and creativity are reshaping how this generation thinks. They are no longer just job seekers. They are innovators, bridge builders, and storytellers. They carry both tradition and transformation in their hands. And across industries, from tech and engineering to entertainment and global business, the Philippines is gaining recognition as a source of fresh talent, fresh energy, and fresh perspective. The rise of digital connectivity has given Filipinos a platform like never before. Online, they collaborate, create, and inspire millions worldwide. The digital age has leveled the field, and the Philippines is sprinting ahead, using its creativity and communication strength to leave a global imprint. So when the world looks at the Philippines today, it might still see a developing nation. But look closer, and you'll see a country standing on the edge of transformation, a nation young enough to dream and wise enough to rebuild. The question isn't if the Philippines will rise, it's how soon the world will realize that the rise has already begun. 7. Why the world keeps underestimating. So why do people still underestimate the Philippines? Because it doesn't roar. It doesn't flex power on television. It doesn't demand attention. In a world addicted to loudness, quiet strength goes unseen. But history has a lesson for those who forget. The nations dismissed as small often end up surprising everyone. The Philippines has faced colonization, war, disaster, and economic hardship. Yet every time, it rises. Every time, it rebuilds. Every time it proves that true strength isn't about domination. It's about endurance. The world will realize it soon, that this island nation isn't a footnote of history. It's a headline waiting to happen. The Philippines is not perfect. It battles corruption, inequality, and challenges like any nation. But beneath all that lies something unbreakable, the will to rise again and again. And that will, that unstoppable drive, is what turns underdogs into powers and small nations into legends. So the next time someone overlooks the Philippines, remember this: greatness doesn't need to shout. Sometimes it just waits until the whole world is finally ready to listen. If you believe the world should see the true strength of the Philippines, hit like, subscribe, and comment below where you're watching from. Because this isn't just a story about one country, it's about the power of resilience, of hope, and of people who never stop rising. Until next time, keep watching, keep learning.